I mean, this is going to be a long show. I just want y'all to know that now. Every sport, every pick, every signing, every trade. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome on into the N1MD podcast. Your host, Kevin Hart and Brian Sherrod, here on this muggy, chilly little Saturday. Sitting here, kind of foggy outside. And it's going to be raining all weekend, but it will not rain on the parade of this show today, B. It will not rain on your parade, son.
That's right. Rain is flat. Let's go. Let's go.
As much as I can't stand, and I really can't stand the color purple. Not the movie, just the actual color. Because I'm doing, if you don't do right by me, I'll do that. But I made it purple today in the celebration for the return of the king. For Baltimore fans. But a lot of stuff to get into today. When I mean a lot.
Yeah.
So to talk about here on the podcast, of course, we're on StreamYard and YouTube. We are all over the socials, a lot of tweeting, especially because of course, the draft on Facebook, IG, and the Twitter, as well as Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you find podcasts, you will find NY to MD podcast. Now, I don't want to start off the show with a bummer, which would mean 3 hours of talking about Lamar. But speaking of LJ, I want to talk about LeBron. Yay!
Okay, go ahead.
So we'll just start off a little bit of b-ball. So playoffs still going on. Phoenix has advanced to play Denver in the next round. A little update there. The Knicks beat the Cavs. The Heat upset the Bucks. So we got a Knicks Heat rivalry series coming up. I cannot wait. Jimmy Butler is that dude. I mean, a 52-point performance followed up with a 46-point performance. And that dude has been on literal fire for the Heat. And this next series is going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. And we got 76ers against the Celtics. You know, they don't get along. It was almost back in the day of Dr. J and Bird. So just a lot of good stuff going on. Lakers blew out the Grizzlies last night to advance. And we got a game 7 in the state of California. We got the Capitol against the Golden State. So Sacramento Golden State going to a game 7 on Sunday. I know who I'm rooting for. And that team wears purple. So I'm hoping all that purple haze, comes over and helps Sacramento. I hope Golden State, being a horrible road team during this whole season, comes back to haunt them during this game 7. It's going to be loud. There's going to be cowbells. So down in Sacramento, what are your thoughts on Golden State being in the game? I mean, it's the first round, but Golden State position. Go ahead.
You know what my thoughts are for real?
Yeah.
Why do you hate Steph so much?
I don't hate Steph. It's that other guy that gets on my nerves.
Oh,
it's more Draymond than Steph. Honestly.
Oh, okay.
I don't hate Steph. I guess it's the idea of people saying Steph's better than LeBron that gets on my nerves. That everything ties into LeBron, but you can have your favorite player. I don't have a problem with you loving Steph, but to say that he's better than LeBron is blasphemous.
Okay.
So but with him personally, that dude seems like a really good dude. He never done nothing wrong to me. I have no issues. Steph just seems like he's a good teammate. His kids are funny, during press conferences. Like, I have no issue with Steph, or like literally no issue. Obviously MJ's a whole different story, but I don't have like that dislike of Steph, blah, blah, blah. But it's just the fan base that he has that, go against LeBron. So that's the whole thing. But like I was telling somebody, as Steph changed the game, and the guy who's
What you wait? What's this? Steph did change the game.
no. What I mean is like the guy who said LeBron didn't change the game, but Steph did. That guy. Remember the high school teacher guy I was talking about? That guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what did he do? And Steph did, but what? Like, what? Like, you must be not watching basketball. You must have missed it the last 20 years. Like, you really did. Like, I know Steph changed the game, but Steph had to go get help. So don't forget that 73-9 had to go get help. Unless you forget that.
Yeah.
You know, in order to beat LeBron. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, but it's so funny that Steph had to go out and get help. Get help. But no one's saying, oh, Steph. And by the way, he just won his first MVP out of that also. But you know, Steph's great. Steph can't do anything wrong. That's my issue. Like LeBron losing anything. LeBron could lose a shoe. Oh, look at LeBron. Oh, look at LeBron. You know, Steph twists the ankle. Oh my God, is he okay? Is he okay? I know he had ankle issues. I'm like, you all right? Oh, he's got his own shoe. You know, like it's Under Armour. Come on.
Exactly. Good job, Steph.
Yeah. But I mean, geez, everybody's on. KD just got a lifetime contract from Nike. Anybody gonna get on KD's shoe deal? I mean, come on. Well, Michael had his own. Michael was before all these people.
All right. Michael created all this, man.
I mean, come on. Everybody was just on Converse, and whatever. Did that movie come out already?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just waiting for it to come to streaming.
All right, which is shocking. I thought you'd be first in line. So, that whole anyway. Getting off topic.
Yeah, we get off topic.
I'm going for Sacramento.
So, to be honest with you, I didn't know that that the Warriors were up in this series.
Yeah, they actually won a game at Sacramento. So it went back to Golden State because remember Sacramento's the home team because they're
right.
But yeah, so now it's they won last night, 118-99 at Golden State to bring it back to Sacramento for Game 7.
Wow, man, they blew it. I mean, they're such a good home team. I mean, they should have finished that one. I don't think they're going to win Game 7, man.
I mean, De'Aaron Fox playing with that little fractured finger that he's had has played well. Malik Monk has played well. They've all played well. I really do enjoy watching those games. They're on a little bit earlier than 10 o'clock.
The game last night was ridiculous, right? Like that game with the Lakers. Like,
oh, dude, I didn't know. The draft was on, right? So I'm watching the draft mostly.
Okay.
Then I turned to the game, and I'm like, are they up by 20? I'm like, okay. I was like, but teams have been up by 20. People come back, right? So I'm like, they're coming back. And I just looked at my phone and I saw LeBron had like 16 points. It's like the third quarter. I'm like, oh, he's not having a good game if it's 16. Then I looked at the score. I'm like, wait, are they up by 30 now? So they crushed. Now, again, Dylan Brooks said he don't respect nobody unless they get 40. Well, you lost by 40. Okay? So do you respect that now? That team talks too much trash.
Yeah.
For a team that's done nothing.
Nothing.
What?
Now, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. Like, what happened last night?
I don't even know. I didn't watch it. I was watching the draft, and then I would just tuned in later on, and like LeBron's sitting on the sideline with a towel. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking like, wait, like Mo Bamba's in the game? Like, what's the score? Like Tristan Thompson was playing? Like, what is going on? Like, I had no clue, dude. But I just think they needed a little bit of a humbling experience, and they got it. So I'm not saying they're not a talented team because they are, but you're not there yet, yo. I know they had that little one series rivalry with Golden State last season, and you had a pretty good season this season, like regular season. But the playoffs are a different beast.
Yeah. And like you said, you have to earn the right, man, to start talking.
Yeah, especially that much.
Yeah, like come on.
Like you want to just Golden State and blah blah blah. Golden State's, went on to win a championship. Then you want to talk about, LeBron. I don't respect LeBron. I don't respect anybody. He's old. That don't score 40. He's LeBron, man. Just stop. And who are you? Who are you? So I was very happy that that occurred.
Okay, so let's talk about these Game 7. So like you said, we have the Warriors and we have the Kings, and we also have what's the other? Oh, what's the other one? What's the other game 7 we have?
That's it. It's only game 7.
Oh, so all the other matchups have been.
Are done. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Knicks Heat that start. Celtics 76ers. Denver Phoenix.
Okay.
This is the only
Okay. So who's winning game 7?
Sacramento.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now, am I want to root for them for a multitude of reasons? Well, the main reason is I want Golden State out of the playoffs. I really and that to me I would really like to see a Phoenix Lakers Western Conference Championship. I think that would be fun.
That would be really good, man.
And that would be entertaining. So I'm hoping that's what I want to see. It may not get there. It might be Denver, Sacramento. It could be Denver, Golden State. It could be, Denver, Lakers. I don't know. If it's Denver, Lakers, I ain't watching that one game of that. It just seems like that would bore me to death.
Yeah. I can't watch Denver. I'm sorry.
I can't either.
I hate. I mean,
don't hate. It's just
like
boring. The style and the play.
Yeah. It's boring.
I have not watched one playoff game that they've had. No.
Right.
So I'm no desire, but but anyway, at least the playoffs are there. It's exciting. Jimmy Butler is crazy. I can't wait for this Knicks Heat, man.
Yeah.
I just hope there's like a brawl. Charlie Ward gets thrown into the stands. Somebody's grabbing onto Zoe's leg. You know what I mean? So fun stuff like that.
And like I talked because we talked earlier this week about this, but I just want to. I'm not a Jimmy Butler fan. I told you I was watching that game, the second half of the game against the Bucks, man. Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
His performance in that game, especially in that fourth quarter, hurt. I had to stand up and just give him a clap after the game, Even though I was rooting for the Bucks, that was amazing. That was amazing, dude. I told you, it was like a video game, like NBA Jam or whatever. Anything he put up, dude, it was just going in. Like it was almost like he, they talk about getting in the zone. It was like he was in the zone, but it was like amplified. You know what I mean? Like I could not believe the level of play he was doing, man. It was unreal, man. And that's why you really got to appreciate the playoffs because you get to see these performances, man. And like I said, even if it's not from your team, even if it happens to your team or who you're rooting for, you just got to stand up in the plug. And it kind of reminds me back in the day when I really hated LeBron, like when he was going up against the Wizards and I was rooting for the Wiz. But he would just put on these performances, man, and just light them up. And at the end of the day, you just have to you got to give him this props.
Yeah, you got to respect that, dude.
Yeah. Now, I didn't see the next game where they closed out the Bucks, but
well, you should see the shot Jimmy hit to get into overtime.
Oh, that game with the OT?
They went to overtime.
Oh,
he hit the shot, then send it into overtime.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. Once you get a chance to look at that highlight, it's just it's crazy, dude. He's been that dude. He's been the best player in the playoffs, period.
Whew, yeah. Now, I have another playoff question for you, Hurt.
Ooh.
Bless you, man.
Thank you. Man, out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
So here's my playoff question for you. We have a very, very interesting game 7 that's about to take place. And my question to you is if the Panthers upset the Bruins, because they killed, it was a 7-5 game, I think last night, game 6.
Mm-hmm.
If the Panthers upset the Bruins, is this like one of the biggest upsets in like NHL history, or is?
Yeah, yeah. I would say it's probably the biggest because of how historically Boston was the best regular season team in NHL history. So losing to Florida would be not even equivalent to what just happened with Milwaukee and Miami. Honestly, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It'd be more attuned to like a 16-1 in the NCAA tournament.
Okay, I might have to watch that game 7, man. I think I'm gonna watch it, man.
Well, I know the Rangers need to win game 6 tonight because if not, I'm gonna be angry. Because the Knicks have gone into the next round. We'll get to the Mets in a second, and then we got the Rangers won the first 2, have lost the next 3. Not only have they lost the next 3, it's the next 3 to New Jersey. Like, come on. So that's painful. So we got to win tonight to stretch this to a game 7. So I think we'll win tonight. I always said this is going to be a 7-game series, but we really got to get off the schneid.
Did the Maple Leafs advance?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. That game went to game 7. The Avs staved off elimination. They have a game 7 against the Kraken. The Kraken. Who else advanced?
That's such a cool name, by the way, the Seattle Kraken.
The Kraken. It's the Kraken.
Such a cool name.
I'm just the way you can say it's the Kraken.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dallas eliminated Minnesota, I believe. So they're moving on. I think that's all I can remember. But yeah, so let's go Rangers. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. All right.
Let's go Rangers. Yeah, and Carolina moved to the next round. They beat the Islanders.
Yeah, they beat the New York Islanders. So
yeah. Well, we just call them Islanders. They're just called Islanders.
I had to get that in there. Yeah, I might watch Game 7. If I remember, it's on of the Bruins and also in the Maple Leafs. I want to see if they advance. I'm kind of rooting.
And Vegas, 4-1 over Winnipeg. They also advanced.
Okay.
So, and what's that? I think that's it.
Okay.
And I think Edmonton and the Kings are still in a series. Yeah, they got game 6 tonight. So I think it's 3-2 Edmonton. So that is all the playoffs for that. So let's get to the regular season and get to Major League Baseball. We'll start off with the team doing well and team not doing well. So let's start out with the team that can't seem to lose, brother. The only thing about losing that the O's is there is an O in losing, but there's not the O's aren't losing, brother. The O's are just cranking out W's, brother.
Man.
So all the little Oreo maniacs out there, brother, get your chicken boxes, say your prayers, take your half and halves, brother, because the O's are for real, brother.
Hurt. Yo, this is amazing, man. Like, the Orioles they're just one of these teams, yo, where they don't quit. Like, you got to put them away early because if you don't put them away, yo, they're going to come and beat you, yo. They are winning every kind of way. They're winning 1-0. They're winning 2-1. They're down by 4 runs. They had 2 comeback wins this past week where they were down 4-0 against the Red Sox. No problem. We came back on them. They were down 4-0 against Detroit. No problem. On the road. No problem. They won 7-4. I mean, dude, oh my gosh. It's amazing, Hurt. And the cool thing is, here's what's great. The bullpen is shaping up, is rounding into shape. The starters are getting better. We have prospects that's knocking on the door, Hurt, in AAA. We just, brought up a prospect, drove in 3 runs in his first game with us. We got number 1 draft pick, Colton Cowser. He's knocking on the door. He's going to be up later this year. We got Heston Kjerstad, I'm sorry. He's killing it in the minor leagues. We got our number 1 pick from last year, yo, Jackson Holiday. Got promoted to Aberdeen. got promoted to Aberdeen, I think in his first game in Aberdeen.
Oh, we gotta go see the Ironbird.
Yes, we gotta go see the Ironbirds, yo. His first game, I think he had a homer in the triple. I mean, he is dominating the minor leagues, man. So things are looking up in Baltimore, man. Not to mention, wait till we get John Means back. You know, he's coming off Tommy John this year. Wait till we get him back. Now, the only thing I'm still waiting for the Orioles to do is to spend some money. And when I mean spend money, I need them to do what the Pirates just did and do what Atlanta does. Get your young prospects and lock them up for years so we don't have to worry about it. You know
definitely.
And
contracts.
And they got to spend money on free agents. You know what I'm saying? I'm still waiting for them to spend like real money, Hurt.
Yeah, I think this will be the season where if they're contending and they're not trade away any prospects, keep the prospects, but then in the offseason be a player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like extend the guys that need to be extended and go out and spend some money in the free agency and not give away any prospects. This team's going to be dangerous for years.
Yeah.
So that's what they're supposed to. I mean, they're 9-1 in the last 10. 17-8, 4 games behind the Rays somehow. Yeah. Now, again, the Rays did start off 99-0 for a little bit. But they're 22-5. Baltimore 17-8. Toronto 17-9. So you guys are 3 full games ahead of fourth place Yankees, who are 15-12. So that's again, that division is crazy. But you guys eking past Detroit. But wins are wins. People was like, oh, you guys barely won. Like when the Mets win, you barely win. If we win 3-2 every game, we win. I don't care. I don't believe in eking out anything in any sport. It's a win's a win.
A win's a win, and especially in baseball, dude. You play 162 of these. You got to keep stacking these wins, dude. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It always, and like every sport's like, well, they struggled against Detroit that first game. Like, who cares?
Right.
You're gonna struggle against every team. Like it just happens. But if you come out on top, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So speaking of not coming out on top, let's talk about the New York Mets. So the one good thing is Verlander had a minor league start, got a standing ovation, struck out 6. So hopefully his next start will be in the majors. And then sometime next week, we'll get Scherzer back as well. So we'll have our 2 aces together finally. Hopefully no more pine tar issues or rosin bag issues or whatever issues. We're still only 3 games behind the Braves, who we're starting out a 3-game weekend set with. And last night's game went 5 innings before it was rained out. Unfortunately, that's an official game, and we lost 4-0. So that didn't help. We still have a power outage issue up there, even though Pete's basically in the top of home runs. Everybody else around him is not really driving and run. So we need a little help on the offensive side of the ball as well. But, again, we're 4-6 on our last 10. We eked 1 game out of the National Series somehow.
That's crazy.
Why we struggled against them, I have the first game against the Nationals, we were shut out.
That's crazy.
And then the one we just won against them 2 days ago, we were down. Then we took a 7-4 lead. Then we were losing 8-7.
Yeah.
And then because we gave up a grand slam, then we came back to win 9-8 and 9 innings. So I mean, we've been very inconsistent lately, but hopefully
but you eked it out, Hurt. That win doesn't.
All right, yeah. We salvaged 1 out of 3. So hopefully we can do that against the Braves. We're 3 games behind the Braves, so this series does mean a lot.
Come on, Buck. Come on, whip them in shape. Come on, man.
Listen, they gotta do something. So speaking of whipping into shape, a former Met, I'm gonna talk about a guy who we did not sign to a long-term contract, even though he's near and dear to every Mets fan's heart. I mean, like he's probably, besides Dwight, he's probably the second, or Tom Seaver, I should say Tom. But like for the older players, but for the older fans, but for the younger fans around 40-ish, there's usually Doc, there's Coney, we love Sid, Ron Darlings of the world. But it's probably Doc, and Pedro was there too, we like Pedro. So Doc and, the guy who we got a no-hitter from, that we got from Minnesota. So there's a couple of people. But DeGrom is up there. So last night, DeGrom was pitching for Texas. He's beating the Yankees. He was doing a really good job, and they visited him out on a mound for some reason, and it was like a 5-minute meeting. Like they had to stop the pitch clock because the pitch clock was there, and they came out with a trainer with his forearm tightness. So, I don't have any ill will towards him at all. I love I love DeGrom. For some reason, I care. I feel sad that he left, but I understand why he had to leave or why we wouldn't sign him to that kind of money because of this. Like he's been injury prone these last couple of years, and I wish him the best. I hope he comes back. I hope it's something minor because the game needs someone. The game needs its aces, as I say.
Yeah.
And but man, and that was just tough to see.
No, you are exactly right. And we talked about this. This is why you don't sign Jacob deGrom to all that money. Period. I mean, he's a great pitcher, great, but he gets hurt all the time, and it's like when you have to kick out all that money for someone who's not reliable or durable, I should say.
Yeah, durable, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, I shouldn't say reliable, but durable. You can't do it, man. I mean, his contract was ridiculous, man. And but we knew this was gonna happen. We knew it. And like I said, not to speak bad.
We didn't wish for it. Nobody wanted it. I wanted him to be okay, but yeah.
Just like one of the worst contracts in baseball, we talk about all the time. Steven Strasburg, dude, when's the last time that dude even pitched?
Is he retired? Well, the way we were hitting, I thought he pitched both the first 2 games against us. I was really thinking that Scherzer pitching for them now. Like, what? Did he go back there because we couldn't hit? But yeah, Strasburg hasn't been seen in about 2 years.
Yeah,
and those are guaranteed contracts.
Yes,
fully. So
I feel bad for deGrom, but when I saw it, I was just like, dang, because I just saw it and I just like,
yeah, dude, and you could tell he was, it hurt him. Not like the injury, but just getting taken out and being hurt again. I guess I'm sure it's frustrating for him as well. But he's just a good dude, man. So again, I just hope he gets better and stays healthy.
Yeah,
for the duration of the regular part of the season.
Yeah, man. Just get okay, Jacob. Get okay, man.
All right. So real quick, we got to have our Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani stats. So currently, Shohei Ohtani, 6 home runs, 17 RBIs, batting .277. 5-tool Mike Trout, 5 home runs, 13 RBI, batting .303.
Okay, sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, by the way, let's look at the pitching stats.
I knew that was coming.
Shohei is 4-0 with a 1.85 ERA, a 1.5 WAR, a 0.82 WHIP, a 12.2 K9 ratio, 12.2. An 87.0, I don't even know what this means. P/S. I don't know. Something. Oh, pitches per start. There we go.
Oh,
pitch 87 pitches per start. I like that. Thank you for breaking that down, Espen. Let's look at Trout's pitching stat. I don't see any. Yeah, Trout hasn't pitched an inning yet, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, there we go for that. Shohei Ohtani. So now, I think we got everything out the way.
Yeah.
All right. It is time for the main event. The NFL draft started Thursday night. I actually had work to do, so I was kind of working. But I was on the phone, too. I know you were on the phone. Both our teams actually had draft picks.
Yeah.
But before the draft happened earlier in the week, 2 quarterbacks, one went green to green, another one got green. So first we'll start with my former favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, going from the Packers to the Jets. Give me your thoughts on him going from the NFC to the AFC and what this makes the Jets and the Jets fans' expectations and stuff.
So I have a couple thoughts on this. Let's talk about this trade itself and the addition itself of Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. I think this makes the Jets a very formidable team, instant contenders. We gotta talk about them in the conversation for division leaders in the AFC North, as well as playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders. Man, I mean, we got to see if Aaron Rodgers still has some juice left. He does, and he wants to stick it to Green Bay and prove them wrong. So he's going to be very motivated. He said he really wanted to come to New York to play on the Jets because he likes the potential of the team, thinks they can go far. So yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. I thought it for the Jets. I thought it was the right move. They could not go into this season with Zach Wilson as a starting QB. They could not go into the season uh, picking another QB uh, high in the draft. Essentially, to replace Zach Wilson. I just think this was the right move for them. They have a defense that's great, top 10, top 5 defense that's great, and is only going to get better. And even if all Aaron Rodgers is a game manager, which he isn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They should be good, man. And this, I love it because this makes the Patriots officially the worst team in the division. Oh, how the tables have turned. I love that. The only thing is, I think the Jets gave up way too much. Way too much. I think Green Bay pretty much took it to the Jets, man. I mean, they essentially gave up a 2 and a 1 for aging Aaron Rodgers, who's due to make $60 million this year. That's ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. But hey, if they win a chip out of it, win a Super Bowl, it would have been worth it.
I think, real quick, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done. I was done.
No, I think you got to think, because I was talking to one of our Dolphins fans about it, and he can't stand the Jets, and he almost, he tried to equate the Jets with the Cowboys, and that's,
no.
that can't. That's I'm just.
Speaking of which, real quick, we got to talk about Dallas when we talk about the draft. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, sure, we will.
Their reaction. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I have no problem not talking about it. So with the Jets and the Jets fans, or Aaron Rodgers, or them paying too much for Aaron Rodgers, the aging quarterback.
Absolutely.
They didn't have a choice, in all honesty, because when you look back at everybody struggled in history for a long time finding the quarterback, right? But when you think of the history of the Jets, who haven't seen the Super Bowl since the 60s, literally seen the Super Bowl since the 60s. I know they look at the team, they have a really good defense. They know all we need is somebody competent. Not even all world, but competent to quarterback, and we can maybe go a couple steps further. You get what I'm saying? And I know that's what they're looking for. If all those Rex Ryan teams had an Aaron Rodgers instead of Sanchez, maybe you're talking about a whole different story. I know Jets fans all over the world, the Rich Eisens, the Greenies, probably Kevin James, and all the Jets fans were ecstatic because they really have. You want to talk about a barren wasteland of quarterbacks? I know Washington has started the most amount of quarterbacks in the past, 10 years or something like that. But the Jets have had absolute nothingness since Boomer, maybe? I don't even know. It's just they've been their quarterbacks have been utter trash. So I think they're looking at this we got to do something. And did they pay too much? Yeah, of course they did. But their ability to pick a quarterback is -7 on a scale.
Yeah.
They can't do it. They just can't do it. And they need to get this down. I think if they get to a Super Bowl, even if they don't win, is a miracle because they haven't even been to one since the 60s either. That'll be a win just for the fans to be there. They haven't even been there. So for this crop of fans to be there, just to be at a Super Bowl would be huge, but they haven't even seen it, dude. They saw it when it was at MetLife, they might have, down the street. That's as close as they've gotten. Yes, AFC Championship games are cool, but when you don't win them, you're not, so, I know that whole division is going to be tough. I still think people want to poo-poo on the Dolphins in that division. I think a healthy Dolphins team is going to make a big difference there. But one thing I'm excited to see. Football and the NCAA and NFL come fall is going to be insane. There's going to be some competitive games and just craziness going on, and I'm all here for it. It's almost like, me sitting here tomorrow watching the DC Defenders hopefully go to the XFL Bowl playing against the Seattle Sea Dragons for the North Division Championship. So tune in tomorrow on ESPN, everybody, for that game. The runner-up is playing today, and we don't need to get into those teams, but tomorrow DC will make a stamp on the area for XFL football.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, that is just that's what I think. But it's going to be fun to watch. Now, what's even going to be more fun to watch for you, my friend, which I kind of wish it happened today, or happened like at the draft, like because I wanted like some intrigue to happen, but we didn't get it. We got local news, we got Twitter breaking news that you didn't know about, that somebody broke to you, that someone is re-signing back to his team, got his half and halves out there with his chain, with his sunglasses, got his little mobile gym working out. Now, I'm gonna say, I know how you feel. What are your thoughts on the contract, on the signing of the guy who's everywhere in the background there, except for I think that's Edgar Allan Poe, with Lamar coming back to roost with the Crows?
Yo, it's just such a relief. That's the biggest thing. It is a relief. We don't have to go through these emotions anymore, Hurt. We don't have to go. Like I said, it seems like me and my brother and sister were having therapy sessions every other day, man, just talking to each other, talking about Lamar, man. I've talked about Lamar so much to friends and family and co-workers and
podcasts.
Yeah, it's just like finally we could just stop. We can just stop. So I'm happy. Lamar Jackson was able to negotiate the richest contract in the NFL history without an agent. Wow. So, good for him. Good for his mom, Felicia Jones. You know what I'm saying? Hanging in there with him. And they got it done, man.
Got her done.
It was funny. So I listened to the press conference, and Eric DeCosta, he was watching the game because he's from Massachusetts. He's a Celtics fan. He was watching the game that Trae Young hit the look like half court three to basically that made them lose that game. Yeah. And he was like, man, he was just coming off a down and like, oh gosh. He said, then he got a call from Lamar, like right after that, said, all right, I'm ready to get a deal done. So it was like a total.
you gotta be like, hello, hey, this is Lamar. Let's get this done. Yes. Like it totally. I'm sure that's a whole. Yeah. Hey, that's funny though. That's too funny.
But yeah. So but no, man, it's just such a relief, man. And guess what? It was a fair deal. The Ravens, they were trying to take care of him, man. You know what I'm saying? They weren't trying to take advantage of him. F all those people, they tried to issue on my team, try to say the Ravens are trying to sabotage Lamar and screw Lamar and all this stuff. No, they what they were saying was true. They love Lamar. And they really wanted to do right by him. But Lamar had to see. It was funny. I was talking with who was I just telling this to? I was talking to Janae. I'm talking to my sister, and I was telling her, the Ravens are such a smart organization, They try to do things the right way, but every move they made in preparation to get Lamar signed was perfect. And let me just run it down real quick. So first, right, they locked Roquan up before the season ended. That was important because if they didn't lock him up, they would have had to choose which one to franchise. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they locked him up, got a 5-year deal with him so that they could then use the franchise tag on Lamar, right? But what I didn't see coming is they used a non-exclusive franchise tag on them. And that did two things. That lowered the cap number, you know what I'm saying? So they could get players that they needed and keep the cap manageable. And at the same time, they were trying to show Lamar, look, man, here's the market. Go see what your market is. So this allowed him to explore that. And it was crickets, Hurt. He got no takers. So then, thank you, Nicole Lynn. for locking Jalen Hurts up because Lamar was able to see his value. Here you got a guy just took his team to the Super Bowl.
Should have won the Super Bowl.
Should have won the Super Bowl. He could have been. He came in second. He could have been. He came in second essentially for the Super Bowl MVP and for the league-wide MVP. Right. Had a very reasonable deal, and I think this kind of showed Lamar, dang, this is just like the deal the Ravens offered me last year. So maybe they weren't trying to take advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? So I guess once he had in his mind, all right, this is what the market is. All right, they weren't trying to jerk me around. Maybe they were trying to really do right by me. Then they could kind of get the ball rolling. Another brilliant move what the Ravens did, which was brilliant. Everybody says they overpaid for Odell Beckham, which they did. But you cannot tell me, dude, that this helped. This helped because this showed, okay, Lamar wanted Odell. The organization obliged, right? So they got him who he wanted. So it's just all these things came together. The Ravens played this brilliantly. He's the highest paid player in the history of the NFL. And it was almost to the day, 5 years ago, the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson. And almost 5 years to the day, I think it was one day before, he became the highest paid player in the NFL. So just a nice story, full circle. Now
highest paid per year.
Yes, $52 million a year. He winds up saving about $7. It's funny. I did the math. Let me just do this real quick. I just want to show you a comparison because don't you know how all the people that said Lamar, needed an agent and all this stuff and
didn't you say he needed an agent? You?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. I was one of those people because the deal would have been done. But you know me, Hurt. It would have been done. You know me.
At that price? Because remember, people were. Go ahead.
Well, hold on. This is okay. What I want to read to you real quick because you know me. I love numbers, right? So this is what I texted my brother and my sister. I said I just did a comparison between Josh Allen and Lamar's deal. Josh Allen is earning $43 per year for 6 years. Lamar is now earning $42 per year for the next 5 years. And I said, if you want to include last year's salary, he would, just to keep it on balance with Josh Allen's, he's earning $47 a year for 6 years, right? I said, considering Lamar just saved himself $7.8 million in agent fees, I think he made out okay. So, and people say, well, he's not going to be able to make up the $40 million that he could have signed 2 years. I mean, that he would have made 2 years ago. But he's essentially made $4 million a year more than Josh Allen, which adds up to $24 million. Plus, he saves himself $7.8 million, which is almost $8 million in attorney's fees. That's almost $32 million. So it almost balances out. So so he did okay. He did fine. I mean, yeah, he could probably have more endorsement deals. Yeah, he could probably rip up his deal sooner because that's the one advantage that Josh Allen does have is that either next year or 2 years from now, he could rip up his old deal and get more money on a higher scale, especially after Joe Burrow gets paid. But at the end of the day, look, he has generational wealth. He did good. He negotiated the richest quarterback in NFL history for a guy that they didn't even want to play quarterback. They said he should play receiver. Then they called him a running back, and now he's the highest paid player ever. So,
and some people still think he's a running back.
Yeah. So Lamar, I tip my hat to you, sir. Felicia, I tip my hat to you, and let's go. Block Nation, let's go. That's all I have to say about that.
So, I've never defended a player from your team more than I've ever defended Lamar.
I know.
Right? Which everybody just they don't understand. And I know they don't get it because my style of quarterback is Lamar. I'm the Charlie Ward guy. I'm the guy who likes dual threat quarterbacks, guys who can throw, guys who can run, guys who can do both. Lamar has always been that person, right? And I've always defended him because he hasn't gotten the tools around him to apply his trade the best way possible, to me. from offensive coordinator to personnel on the field, right? So now he gets a different coordinator who can open things up, and he's gotten people who can help open things up on the field, and we'll see. And he can either prove me right or prove me wrong. That's all I've been saying this whole time. Give him things to work with, and if they work out, then that's how it should be. If he doesn't improve, if his numbers don't go up, if he hasn't gotten better, then that's on him. And I was wrong. You gave him stuff and he didn't know what to do with it. Like people who, win the lottery and in 3 years they're broke. He's got everything he needs now. Can he go forward and do well? And honestly, I think he will, but we'll see. I don't mind I'm glad he did this on his own. I'm glad he's stuck by his guns. You got to think about every naysayer and all this stuff since probably he's been little till now. From the time he went to Louisville or even before then, especially, and I'm not trying to put any, colorism on it, especially because he's black, always told you're probably going to be this, you're probably going to be that, and you're not going to be a quarterback. Now, we just had 3 quarterbacks taken in the first 5 picks this past one, but because I think they see where this could go, right? We had a basically all-black quarterback Super Bowl for the first time ever. So it's in 2 different style of quarterbacks. One's a little bit. Now, again, Mahomes does move. It's not like he sits still. Mahomes moves. He's very elusive, and he will run down the field. Is he as strong or as fast as Jalen? No. But Jalen, who had 3 rushing touchdowns, also threw for over 300 yards in the Super Bowl. Let's not forget that either.
Right.
And he had 0 interceptions. He did have that 1 fumble. That's it. So, again, who can Jalen throw to? I don't know, guys who can catch. So, hopefully, that will happen with Lamar. Now, do I sit here and now this happened? Do I wish him success? Yes. Now, to make it clear, do I want Baltimore winning another Super Bowl while I'm here? No, I do not. Right. Unless they're playing the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then that right there, that's, go Crows go. I'm totally on the Magpie train for that one. But I just got a little bit tired of just people, poo-pooing on him, or even you got to think the bird teams have signed these 2 quarterbacks, and there's 2 bird teams who hate my team, but I'm going for the guy. Jalen Hurts to me is a good guy. Lamar is a good dude, and I just wish the best and success for them. Maybe not their teams. But for them, because I feel like they've always been put in a box, and I'm glad that they want to break out of that and become, better than what they were, supposedly destined to be. Jalen was supposed to be a backup. Dude's in the Super Bowl. Like I said, Lamar's like, oh, he doesn't have the skills to be a quarterback. Yeah, the team, can't win without him, last time I checked. So, but my question to you is, there's a lot of people in this town, and I hear people at work, again, I do, work in a different work environment, most people, who were just like indifferent. They weren't excited. They weren't upset. Yeah, they were people at work just like, A, why did we sign him with so much money? B, how come he didn't show up to the playoff games? C, why couldn't we get somebody else? That's what I heard at work. And I was just like, what? And I was like, is that an overall thing that you've heard? Or have people have those mixed feelings? Breathe. These are older people, though.
Okay.
These aren't people our age. So.
Okay. All right. Let me calm down.
And these aren't people who are like you, like real fans.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that explains it then, because
sideline, but they still do love and follow the team because they're from here, right?
Okay.
But not to the extent of say you, Janae, Marcus. Yeah. But still, just like we follow the Ravens, but not. I got season ticket type stuff.
So, you get frustrated at times.
Yeah.
Like Eric DeCosta said, it's like family. Sometimes their family fights, but at the end of the day, you still love them. You know what I mean? Was I mad when Lamar, said he wanted to be traded? And was I mad when he ambushed John Harbaugh and when he didn't show up to the playoffs? Yes. But you got to understand, this is business, man. And let me tell you something. These these NFL teams and owners are cutthroat.
Dude, they're billionaires. Right. Yes, that's how they got there.
Right. So look, when you have leverage, or when or you may not have a lot of leverage. You gotta do things, and when you're in the midst of negotiating, especially for a huge contract, you gotta do what you gotta do. Look, let's keep it real. Lamar didn't go to the playoff game because he didn't want to get hurt. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He wasn't fully healthy. He wasn't 100%. He wasn't going to risk and put his body on the line because he didn't have a contract. I don't have honestly, it sucked. And when he didn't show up to that playoff game, it sucked, right? But you gotta kind of understand what he's talking. You gotta kind of understand what he's doing from a business standpoint. Yeah, it affected his teammates and coaches and the fans, and we were pissed. I was pissed, but come on, you gotta keep it real. Like, you gotta understand where you're coming from. When he ambushed Harbaugh and did all these things, like, they were all tactics, y'all. But look, if they're willing to pay him all this money, you know what I'm saying, and keep him around, all is forgiven. And the Ravens know his business. They didn't take that stuff personal. They know what the deal. They know what the deal is. Yeah, it was ugly. Yeah, it got a little ugly. But at the end of the day, everybody's happy. He's going to be with the team for a while, so it's all good.
My issue is, it's never this much outrage when the team does it to somebody.
Exactly.
And I don't understand that.
Exactly.
This is one person fighting against a machine, so to speak.
Thank you. We're talking about a sport, Hurt, and this is the only sport professional sports where the team could cut you at a moment's notice, and guess what, Hurt? You might not get paid.
You get that guaranteed. Like I was telling people at work, they're like, the money, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, it's 260? 260?
Yeah.
I think it's 260. He gets 185 guaranteed out of that, right? Once he gets his last 180 check out of that 185, he could go. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but I'm saying, like, technically he can get cut. Say he's injured or something, and there's no clause in there, and he can get cut. He ain't reaching that 260.
Right.
This isn't I told him, like, Major League Baseball, NBA, they're getting 260 no matter what they do, unless they commit a crime or something.
Right.
So 260 doesn't mean anything to me. The 185 does. Because I've seen players sign for whatever amount of money and they don't reach the end of that contract. And that's how it usually works in some cases. I don't think it happened in this case, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But I just kind of, I kind of get tired of the fact that the players always get, treated badly. But when a player kind of fighting back with their tactics or whatever it is, or even if he seems, I don't know if the word immature is correct, but if he seems like he's getting hurt by whatever, like, people go against the player. But again, we're never in those dealings. I remember we've heard about what people have said, how those contract things work. Like, they'll come at you with, like, oh, you only had this many amount of touchdowns. It's like, well, you didn't allow me to throw the damn ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's stuff used against people in negotiations. Whether it's baseball, basketball, whatever, it's always used against you. So I'm glad he, came out and won this one. And like I said, I want him to keep proving people wrong.
Yeah.
Honestly. Just not in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And this was truly a win-win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for both teams.
Yeah.
But I was a little surprised by people, like, because they seemed to be upset that he didn't show up to the playoffs.
Oh, dude, I was pissed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
as a matter of fact, I remember we were all watching the playoffs together, and when we found out he didn't show up, it kind of put a damper on the thing. Like, it put a damper on the whole game. Like, what's going on? I remember Marcus was pissed. Marcus. I remember Janae was pissed. I remember Marcus had some words. I remember he had some very choice words. I'm not going to bring up what he said, but
I know. Well, I know Marcus.
Yeah. And I just remember when we found out when Susie Colbert, I think it was her, was like, was explaining how he wasn't at the game. My heart just dropped, yo. I was just like, man, I don't even care no more. I don't even care no more.
And I think a lot of people haven't even got over that.
Well, they need to get over it.
Yeah, I'm like, why didn't you? I'm like, because to me, now saying that wasn't a big deal. Wasn't a big deal to me.
Oh, it was a big deal.
I mean, to you guys. I mean, it's not my team, so it's not like I'm like whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I put like this. That dude's been out there and played through so much.
Right.
Just for me personally, that he has enough in the bank to again, but people also question that if it was really hurt or not too. So I think there's a whole thing there. Either way, he's back. He's Baltimore's own, back in the pit again. So congrats to him. So before I forget, and my voice is gonna be cracking, I did have a song for you.
Oh.
Let me see if I have it. And this leads into the NFL draft.
Oh, okay.
So let me see if I can get it. So this is to Bruno Mars' song, okay? You'll know it when I start singing it. Now that you got Zay Flowers, BJ, your team is complete because they signed LJ. That's all I got. But that, as soon as he was drafted, all I had was that song pop in my head. That song's been in my head since Thursday. I was like, I gotta sing it on the podcast.
Oh my god!
All I had, now that you got Zay Flowers. That's all I've had in my head. And I'm like, I can't tell him on the phone. I gotta do it on the podcast.
That's pretty good.
Yes. But I know you wanted Zay. You got Zay.
Yeah.
But let's just start at the top of the draft. We'll go to the top, work our way down, then we'll break it down to our teams. Okay. Any surprises at the top of the draft for you besides Houston?
Yeah. Houston. That's all I gotta say. And I was wrong. I was praising Houston because I thought they put the okie doke on everybody. I was under the impression that Houston wanted C.J. Stroud all along, and they were pumping up Bryce Young. And I was thinking that they probably leaked the S2 cognition score so that C.J. Stroud would fall to them. But now it's starting to come out that they weren't really, that the owner was really pushing them more so to draft C.J. Stroud, which makes sense now that we know that they traded up to get Will Anderson. Which, in retrospect, that was a lot that they gave up to do that when they already had the 12th pick. But hey, they got the top, arguably the top defensive end in the draft, and one of the top QBs in the draft.
Yeah, the top two. I mean, one of the top two, 1 and 2.
So
yeah,
they did what they do.
So any real quick with Bryce Young, we all know he knew he was going. No surprise there.
Right.
Like you said, C.J. Stroud going second. Then moving back up to get Will Anderson at number 3, first round. What about that pick for the Colts? They were looking for a quarterback. Anthony Richardson going there. Yeah. He's got the offensive coordinator, who's the head coach at Philadelphia. He's got the guy who coached Cam Newton in Carolina there. Do you think Richardson is going to be starting?
This season?
Yeah.
Yes, at some point I think so. Yeah, I think Anthony Richardson is going to be good, man. I really do. The more I watched him, because a lot of people were saying he wasn't accurate and blah blah blah, but then I started watching his games because I found some videos where you can go through every snap that he had on offense. So I watched maybe 4 or 5 games, just every snap, and I realized his offensive line sucks.
Oh, that line was terrible. I mean, I liked it because we put a lot of pressure on.
Yeah,
for the State fan. But yeah, that line was not good at all.
Yeah, and I put a lot of his inaccuracy because dude, he was constantly under pressure.
Yeah.
So I was like, if they get this guy a good line and a nice scheme behind him, and what coach would you want other than the one that just coached, Jalen Hurts to the Super Bowl? I think Anthony Richardson is going to be really good, man. I do. I mean, it might take him a little bit of time, but I think he's going to be good. He scored well on that S2 cognition test as well. He's got a great arm. He's got, to be that big and to be that fast is sick. So, yeah, dude, I think they found themselves a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I don't like him.
I know.
Devin Witherspoon to Illinois, to Seattle. Mm-hmm. I don't want to keep going down. I'll just name some big ones before we just talk about our team. Yeah. What do you think about Bijan going to Atlanta?
Nice, man, but I didn't quite understand it. I don't it's nice. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta really likes drafting high-end offensive talent with their first-round picks. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and now Bijan Robinson, man, the last 3 years. So
when you got Tyler Heineke, you got to be able to have a running game, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say they must really have a lot of belief in Desmond Ritter, yo, because I have no idea what they. Yo, honestly, Atlanta's shaping up to be a really good team because when you look at their offense,
It depends on their quarterback play. It
yeah,
really does.
if they had a, that's why I don't understand for the life of me why they didn't go after Lamar, yo.
'Cause they got Tyler Heineke. Why
Yeah,
would you want Lamar if you got Tyler?
good point, good point. So,
Duh.
they-
Jalen Carter going to the Eagles.
that's scary, dude.
I don't want to talk about
I mean, it's scary.
You know what? I'm sorry I even brought that up.
Dude, they're lining him right next to Jordan Davis, yo, who they drafted last year, yo. Then they go get Nolan Smith at the end of the draft. Yo, it's crazy, yo. It's almost like a Georgia reunion up in there, man.
Yeah. Jamar Gibbs, Alabama, going to Detroit, running back.
Hey, a lot of people
I
like
guess the Swift days might be over. What do you think?
say that again.
Swift,
his days aren't over, but his role's just going to change. You know what I'm saying? Which is probably good because when you think about it, when he was in Georgia, right? He was in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't like a full
Alabama. Sorry. Talking about who?
No, he wasn't in Alabama.
Talking about Gibbs?
No, Swift. He was in Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah. And when he was
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Gibbs. I'm sorry.
No. The point I'm trying to make is when Swift was in Georgia, it was like a 1-2 punch. I forget the other running back who was there with him. But he didn't really carry the load like that. And maybe if you do more of this, and not that he's carrying the load now in Detroit, it's just that they'll probably be able better to utilize his gifts and talents by putting another running back beside him. So that's all.
Got you. What do you think about Deontay Banks going to the Giants?
Yeah, so we had a chance to get him. We didn't. Wink must really like him, man. He's a Terp for another first round draft pick for the Terps, which is nice. Yeah, man, he's a good corner. So we definitely could have used a corner, but
well, we know what you got. We don't know, I sang it already, but we know what you got. So yeah, I think the first round, like you said, Nolan Smith, the Eagles always draft well. Certain teams always draft well. It seems like the Eagles are one of them. I can't. That makes me ill. Of course,
Pittsburgh's another one, and they're having a great draft.
Yeah, I mean, getting Broderick, getting that offensive tackle from Georgia. Yeah. Then I'm getting a legacy player, which JP Jr.
Which is what, remember what I said? I said if I was certain about anything happening, I said it last week on the podcast. I said, now granted, I said they were going to trade up to get him. Turns out they didn't have to.
Yeah, they didn't have to. Yeah.
But dude, to me, that was the most obvious thing in the world, and all the teams just let it happen. So
yeah, I mean, the team that had to trade up or did trade up or wanted to trade up was Tennessee to get their quarterback and Will Levis, who dropped out of the first round, who was there on the first day. Rumors had it that he could go really high, didn't go at all. And but I think the situation that he's going to benefits him the best. Sitting there, going to Tennessee.
Real quick, before we hit to the second round, can we talk about the first round real quick?
Yeah. I was going to do this the first and second and come back.
Oh, okay. No, because I got to talk about this. So something happened at the end of the second round where a team, end of the first round, where a team did not get the player that they want. And they showed a clip of their war room live, and it looked like someone's dog had died or something. I mean, they just.
By the way, real quick, before you even get into that, these war rooms on the first night, these places were packed.
Yeah,
like standing room only. People in suits, business suits, up against the wall. Everybody looked serious until they made the pick. Now, once they made the pick and they called whoever they called, all of a sudden everybody's shaking hands. And I'm like, this is, and people want to talk about how wrestling's bad. Like, seriously? Like, oh yeah, we got, hey, how you doing? Good luck. We got him. It took you 5 minutes to make a decision.
Right.
Like, hey, we got him. Yeah, look at that. Like, come on, but go ahead.
No, but I just they showed a clip of Dallas show, and I just remember looking. They look so they looked like someone had died, and I was like, oh my, why are they looking so sad? Come to find out, I think they really wanted the tight end that Buffalo got.
Yeah, Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, but I just had and as we were on the podcast, This is what I found, Joe, and I just think it was so appropriate, Joe. So appropriate. I was so happy, yo, to see this, man. It's just
Well, they are the evil empire. Don't we know that already?
look how sad they look, yo. Because I remember seeing this live on TV. I was like, what happened?
Excuse me.
I was like,
Doesn't Jerry Jones look like the evil emperor?
yes.
Doesn't
Yeah,
he look
he
like
does. He does, yo.
And then he's had whatever. I guess one of his sons, the other old dude, looks like that's the general's name. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Tarkin. He looks like Tarkin.
Yeah.
And McCarthy just looks like one of the side Sith somewhere. You know what I mean?
But
Like one of the other generals. But dude, I've always equated the two. They are the evil empire, and everybody always made it that the evil empire was the Patriots.
Yeah. But
because of Bill, but it's always been them.
But it's more so for me, not even the Star Wars reference, but just how sad and miserable
and dark. It was dark.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, dude, look, if you look at this picture, it looks like someone just died. It looked like someone just passed away.
Yeah, because they're Super Bowl hopes. Every year. It happens all the time. So
I was so happy, yo. And I started to text you, yo. I started to text you like, yo, Hurt, you see how sad they look?
Yeah, it makes me happy.
And then when they made the pick, they tried to play it off like they were excited, yo. They were.
As usual. But the thing is, now the place that had the best war room was Detroit.
Yo.
That lion was off the. Now,
I honestly
think they need to have that on T-shirts, helmets, stadium. That thing was banging, son.
Yo, with the
blue eyes. I was like, yo, why can't they be that cool all the time? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really, dude, I really did like when they showed Detroit.
Yes. That was awesome.
Detroit's having a good I definitely love their third round pick. Quarterback. They got
who was it third round?
Hendon Hooker.
Oh,
they got Hendon Hooker, man. And I'm like, that's gonna be a problem.
That's smart, yo.
Yeah,
that is so smart, dude.
So yeah, that's
yo, that is so smart, yo. They could just ride out this Jared Goff thing. See how it goes.
And Hendon's got to recover from his ACL tear, and I thought that was absolutely perfect. So,
have any other quarterbacks been taken?
No. Hendon was the last one. Will went, and there's no other quarterbacks from gone.
Great. All right. So let me. I wanted Zay Flowers. We ain't talk about that yet, but that's who the dude I wanted.
Yeah.
Please, Ravens, in the 5th or 6th rounds, please draft Stetson Bennett. Please. Yo, that would just make that'll be like the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, whatever you want to say.
Well, yeah, they have Stetson Bennett is the 7th current, still not picked yet, ranked QB out there. So, hey, Max Duggan's out there too.
No, I don't want him.
I'm just saying. I was just saying.
Okay. He has a noodle arm. I don't want him.
Well, I mean, he's red water pistol, same score, right? All right. So we had the number 16 pick. Washington did, and we made the Forbes list.
That was pretty good.
The Forbes 500. Cornerback from Mississippi State. This dude has elite ball skills. Really do like him. Our secondary was absolute, utter, unadulterated trash.
Oh, okay.
So we needed all the help we can get. So I was really happy with this pick. Don't mind it at all. Of course, we're transitioning. Hopefully, we transition an owner sometime in the next 30 days. I'll be very happy to hear that too. And that was good. In the the second round, we got a safety from Illinois, Jortavius Martin, which is fine. But I wanted an offensive line guy. We got a center from Arkansas. I love this kid. This kid looks mean. Not as mean as the kid from South Dakota State that looks like a Viking that's missing teeth. That's a whole different guy. But this dude is a center from Arkansas. He reminds me of a hog. I mean, not like a hog because he came from Arkansas, but like a hog that used to anchor the line for Washington back in the day. So we needed that. I like this dude, and I cannot, wait for him to start. I mean, he was just knocking people over as a center.
Okay.
So I was happy about that. I don't know how many picks we got left. I kind of lose track after the third round. But I'm happy with our draft so far. Of course, I know you wanted Zay Flowers, so you got Zay. Yeah, you got Trenton Simpson, excuse me, linebacker from Clemson. What else you look? You got a 4th rounder, a 5th rounder, and a 6th rounder.
Yeah.
So obviously, I know you want Stetson Bennett. What else is your team looking
for? Can we get a pass rusher and a corner?
Oh, we got a 4th, a 5th, 2, 6, and a 7.
Oh, okay.
We got a busy day.
So we need a defensive lineman, preferably a pass rusher, someone who can rush the passer.
That would be what a pass rusher is.
Wouldn't mind. I know.
I'm sorry. That was just the way you said it.
I know. That's so stupid. A cornerback.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman, but
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we still again, I didn't know we had this many picks, but I mean, more offensive line help would be great. I think we still need a tight end because ours gets hurt all the time, and just to help out our offense. So we still, again, I didn't know we had this many. We got 5 picks today, so hopefully, maybe might trade up against something special, something fun. So we'll see. We got Jacoby Brissett as a backup. Go ahead.
Oh, smack. Yo, Duncan is still out there. He didn't get picked out of Maryland.
He's a defensive guy, right?
Oh, he's an offensive tackle. I thought.
Let me see.
Jalen Duncan, he's still out there. Oh my gosh.
Well, I saw a Maryland guy. I thought. Oh, you know what? I was looking at Jakarian Bennett.
Oh, smack. All right, he's still. Yo, if we can get Jalen Duncan.
That's who I was looking at. Okay.
I'm surprised he didn't get picked yet. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's out there. Well, out of the best, I'm on the ESPN page. Out of the best available, he's like 25th. But his offensive tackles, he's a lot higher than that. He's like 3rd or 4th. So it depends on the team needs. But he's definitely probably going today.
He's going to go. I just thought he would have gone in the 2nd or 3rd round. So that's awesome. All right, Jalen. All right. Man, so we still got a shot at him, possibly. Okay. All right, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Now, the guy who, I was on the phone last night with Dan, and I don't know if you talked to Rudy. Have you talked to Rudy?
I have not. I briefly talked to him since the draft, but I have not talked to him about the draft. Oh, yeah, what did the Dolphins? I have no idea. What did the Dolphins do?
So the Dolphins, from what I know, the Dolphins were looking for a tight end. After losing Gesicki, going to New England. But they were looking for more of a blocking and catching tight end as well.
Okay.
And they didn't have a 1st-round pick. That was forfeited because they wanted to talk to Tom Brady or something.
For whatever reason, yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason. So they had the 20th pick in the 2nd round, which is number 51. And they got Cam Smith from South Carolina, who is a cornerback. Now, when I tell you I was on the phone with a Dolphin fan at the time, and he lost his ever-loving mind because
wait.
He lost his ever-loving mind.
Yeah, he was a what?
Cornerback.
So they drafted a cornerback?
A corner, yes.
Okay.
Cornerback.
Why is he mad that they drafted a cornerback?
Because they have cornerbacks. Am I not mistaken?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they traded for one, and they have an all-pro one. So you already got, Ramsey and Howard. What is this guy for? But they needed offensive help, as well as tight end wise. And there was a bunch of tight ends that were still on the board at that time. Some of them did go earlier. Sam Laporta went. Michael Mayer went from Iowa and Notre Dame, respectively. Luke Musgrave went to Green Bay. But there were still some guys on the board. And tight end from South Dakota State was still out there. And the guy who dropped was from Georgia. He dropped pretty far, that tight end, due to him not having surgery. Dallas, unfortunately, did get their tight end, and Luke Schoonmaker from Michigan. Hopefully, he's not like the other tight end. And one thing Dallas can do is draft tight ends. I can't knock that. They somehow find guys who never drop the ball, ever. So, which is annoying. But yeah, he was apoplectic. He was upset because he wanted a tight end, and he did not see the reason to have another cornerback, and he wanted Chris Greer gone. So I'll remember. So
Wait a minute, he wants Chris Greer gone?
he was just upset that they're like, why you drafted another cornerback when you just traded for one? You got Xavier Howard. Why would you get a third cornerback? And that's your first pick. Now, like, I guess they don't have a lot. Why would you go and get him?
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, that's what the scuttlebutt was coming from there.
Okay, so who they get in the third round?
Third round, they got a running back who this dude. Now, when they said this dude's name, he's from Texas A&M, Navon Cheney. When they start showing his highlights, and the first thing that's showing is him on the track and field team, obviously he's fast.
Right.
So he's on a relay, he's anchoring the relay team, and they didn't even show they got to his highlights, his football highlights like a later. You know what I mean? So obviously this is a speed guy. You know, Miami wants that speed out of the backfield. And this guy is fast. So I thought that was a really good pick.
Okay.
But yeah. Ooh, and of course Green Bay drafted another tight end, and Tucker Kraft from South Dakota State as well.
Okay.
Getting all the love out there for Jordan as he's going to be the new quarterback up in Green Bay. So drafting some really good tight ends for him.
I see what you did there, Hurt.
You know, after the Zay Flowers sing along, you know, I still got to come with the singers, I guess. So of course, day 4. The last days today was rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. But just in all, I know you only guys had 2 picks. I know Zay's pretty big, and biggest thing is signing your quarterback this week. What's your takeaway from your team's 2 draft picks so far?
Well, we got to put it quite simply, it looks like we drafted a wide receiver to help out Lamar, and we drafted a linebacker to replace Patrick Queen. That's how I take it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Yeah, again, for me, need secondary and getting a cornerback, a safety, and a center. That's need. And I'm pretty happy about that, at least with my team so far. And we got a long way to go still. So, you know, again, our division, like your division and every other division, seem like everything is getting tight around the league. The way these things are working out. Teams getting new quarterbacks, teams just, you know, trying to gear up a lot. The Eagles gearing up. I don't even know if anybody can score on the Eagles next season. So, I mean, it's not going to be easy.
Crazy, man.
It's not going to be easy. So I'm again looking forward to this season of football is going to be really, really good. I feel like I'm missing something. Are we missing anything? We did the whole QB signings. Everybody in the draft. Our thoughts on the teams. I don't know if there's been any reaches or anything that we thought was out of character for anybody, right? I think everybody seemed like having a pretty solid draft. I haven't, like, whoever needed a quarterback actually went and got a quarterback.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, Tennessee went and got
No. Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta's the only one. Yeah, with Ritter, Heineke, I don't know what they're looking for. Maybe they didn't feel like they wanted anybody after the first couple people went. Because I think they had a chance to get Will, but Will went like the second pick in the second round. So maybe they just, you know, but I guess they had a chance to get Hendon as well. But Hendon was still going to be a year wait, I think. But Hendon, I think he went to that's the perfect place for him. Yeah. I think him going there, or if he went to Tennessee.
I was going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah.
You know, being a Tennessee guy, at least going to the school, they would have loved it, but he would have at least waited behind Tannehill for a season.
So does the draft start in 12 minutes?
I think so.
Okay.
Yep, I think so. Okay. So, I think that's all we got, man.
Yeah, man.
CMB, we all we got. So, yeah, so far, so good. Love the draft. I was watching ABC because they had the college guys on there, and I like them a little bit more.
Okay.
I mean, I still go back. I got to listen to Mal Kiper Jr. And that dude was, you know what I'm talking about, happy. Oh, my God. That dude was like, Lamar's back. And you know, the Ravens going out and getting him more weapons. And Lamar's back. And more weapons. And, oh, by the way, Lamar's back. So, him and Greeny were just glowing during the whole thing. This is ridiculous. So, but congratulations to both teams for getting a quarterback. That's good. And I guess we'll just keep Sam Howell and see how good he is.
Yep.
So, but thank you everybody for tuning in here on StreamYard, YouTube, and NYMD Podcast on the socials, Facebook, IG, Twitter. My last tweet, or our last tweet for the NYMD Podcast was viewed 700 times from the draft. So we appreciate that. I'll be tweeting again today. Also, you can follow us and subscribe on iTunes, I got all out of sorts now because I said that's everything else. Just find us places. NYMD Podcast. We're out. We out here. And we out of here today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Peace out, y'all.
Stay dry.